And the final club of all of the teams in the league that we have to have a little look at before the season kicks off properly this weekend is Bohemians. And I'm delighted to say we're joined by their defender, Niamh Kenna, captain of the team last year. Niamh joins us now. Niamh, you're very welcome to the programme.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much for having me, Breifne.
You're more than welcome. It's great to have, I suppose, the final team in the league on the show. In terms of, I suppose, the last couple of weeks and the last couple of months since you've come back out of lockdown pre-season, how have things been going? Because your first year in the league last year, it was a little bit of a struggle. How has pre-season been?
It's gone really well so far, to be honest. We've gotten a good few new players in. They'd be senior in their own way, that kind of way. I think we have players for every position now, so everybody's fighting for our place, which has really brought up the competitiveness in training and in matches. Obviously, results haven't gone our way as of yet, but it's a work in progress, and we're hoping to get there before the start of the season next week. So.
Yeah, you had a little bit of a spell away from the game yourself personally until you came back in last year. You came back up to senior grade. You played for Shamrock Rovers before. Obviously, there's a huge rivalry between the two clubs. What has you playing in Bohemians jersey now?
I was at Shamrock Rovers, yeah. My whole family are Shamrock Rovers fans, to be honest. I'm Southside, so yeah, I'm kind of blown out with the family. But look, Pat gave me a ring last year, and I was just delighted to come back over. I was delighted to get back into the league. I think the league has really progressed since I've been last playing, and I've seen a massive difference myself personally, so I was delighted to get back involved.
Sean Byrne has obviously come in as manager last season, as you mentioned, first season within the league. This season we played against us on Saturday. It's really, really well set up. A lot of changes, players coming in, players gone out. How do you think Sean has affected the team, and how do you find him as a manager, I suppose, within the league?
Sean's great. Sean's probably one of the best managers that I've played under. He's very informative. He knows the stuff. God, he's drilled it into us, and I think he's really, really great for the younger players. Even the way I look at football now would be completely different to how I have looked at it in the past. I see things just a lot clearer, and he's great to have around for the younger girls. I think just the progress in the team from even last year to this year, you can see how much better organised we are, and I think it's finally like sinking in with the girls the way that Sean wants us to play. And I think when that all comes together, we've a great bunch of young players there that can really drive us on in the next couple of years, hopefully.
Yeah, I think obviously Breifne mentioned it. Maybe the results didn't quite go your way last season, but I know when we played against you in an air game in Oscar Traynor, it was a difficult game. So you were well set up. It was just kind of maybe the results didn't go your way, but obviously that kind of takes time. So I'm looking forward to seeing how you get on this year. I think it's going to be a good season for you.
Yeah, thanks very much. Do you know what I think it is personally? I think we need to be scoring more goals. There's only so many mistakes at the back we can allow for not conceding, for not scoring goals ourselves, that kind of way. So I think once we start getting on the score sheet a bit more, it might give us a little bit leeway at the back. But sure, we'll see. Hopefully we can get a few more results in the next couple of weeks.
And Bohs, obviously, a good tradition at the moment of really innovative ideas. And we had Daniel Lambert on the show, on the men's equivalent of the show, talking about the new link up with DCU. And will that have any impact on you? I know you're based out of the amateur league centre there in the Oscar Traynor Centre in Coolock. But will that DCU link up have any direct impact on what you're doing as a club, as the women's branch within the team?
As of yet, no, not that I'm aware of. It's not something that has been brought to our attention. But as I've said before in previous podcasts and stuff, Bohs have been absolutely amazing to us as a women's team. Like, we couldn't ask for much more from them. Obviously, they're involved in a lot in the community as well, which is great to see. And makes you a bit prouder wearing the jersey, if I'm honest. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, a lot of the clubs kind of pay a lot of lip service to women's football. Some of the clubs have really stepped up. Bohs, as you mentioned, definitely one of those from the outside looking in that appear to really have just taken and embraced the women's side of the game completely. What's it like being part of a club where you actually have that bit of a platform that the men's game provides? I'm thinking in terms of kit launches and stuff with the girls been featured in social media and on their website and in all their kind of public issuings of stuff that the girls players are on an equal footing with the boys. How does that feel as a player to be part of a kind of a culture like that?
It's amazing, to be honest. It makes you really feel part of a strong unit as a club. A lot of the girls have said it from the beginning, like, we're really, really privileged to be in the situation that we're in. Bohs have literally we haven't wanted for one thing. We haven't wanted for anything at all. They've been great, and it really makes you want to play better for the club and improve as a team for the club, because they're doing so much for us, and it should be that way. It should be on an equal level with the men, and I'm glad to finally be seeing that come forward.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've seen it with Shells as well, haven't we? I think they're all under the one umbrella, and I think it's a long time coming. Obviously, I played in the league for the last couple of years. Obviously, I was away for a while, and I think a lot of good things are happening now within the league. We've touched on it kind of the last couple of episodes, Breif, with the games being streamed. But I think it's important that some of the bigger profile clubs in Ireland are now starting to take women's sides kind of under their wing and really treating them properly, which is good to see. So hopefully, long may it continue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think we have to include Treaty and Athlone in that as well, in terms of it being one club, one entity, one kind of gathering of people together to work with a common goal for both sides, and both teams get treated equally. I think it's important. It's been kind of lip service, as I mentioned, for way too long. Speaking of the football, Niamh, your squad, it looks very different to last year's squad. Probably half the squad left. A whole load of raft of new players have come in. A couple of girls from Athlone. I know you've signed Niamh Coombs and Paula Doran have come in from Athlone. There's a couple coming from Peamount across the city. In terms of the preparation, Claire Conlon is a name that we haven't seen in the league for a couple of seasons. She was focused on playing Gaelic football with Laois. She joined your side this year. What's the expectations for the impact these players can make into the squad?
It's great to get the girls in. I think last year a few names and a few faces were afraid to make the jump to such a new club, but I think having seen how organised we were last year, even with Sean Bourne, I think that a few of them made the move over this year. We're really, really lucky with the girls that we got in. Niamh Kenna is an absolutely great signing. She's been doing amazing for us so far, along with Paula, and it's great to have Claire around. Claire's amazing for the younger girls. She's really bringing them on, and the advice that she has to give is amazing. It's really, really good. So I think last year we were really looking at just, keeping the score lines down and all about performances. But this year we're looking to get results. We're not just here to take part, as they say. Like, we want to get the results and we want to start getting points on the board. And I think that's something that Sean has really drilled into us this year. That last year was the learning curve. Last year was just based on performances, but this year we need to improve on that and start getting results and start getting points on the board. So.
Yeah, in terms of, I suppose, how you'll measure success this year, what's the hopes for as a squad that you're setting out for the new season? What have you spoken about or kind of targeted in terms of achievements this year? Are you looking at a couple of places further up the table, top half of the table? What's the plan?
100% further up the table. Obviously, it was very disappointing to finish bottom of the table last year. I felt like it was undeserved, the performance that we put in, but unfortunately the results didn't go our way. Obviously this year, as a team, our target is to just get as far up that table as we possibly can. We want to go out and compete in every game, whether it's against Shelbourne, Treaty, Athlone, it doesn't matter. We really want to compete in every game and just see what results we can get and how many points we can gather and move up the table as far as we can, hopefully.
Yeah, you've also lost a few underage players. A lot of that under 17 squad for some reason seemed to just go everywhere at the end of the year. You've a new under 19 team in there as well. Like, how much are you aware of what's happening at that level, or is it just because it's not actually actively training at the moment that it's kind of just at a loose end, or how has that worked?
Yeah, it was disappointing. A few of the girls left at the beginning of the season and they moved on, but look, we wish them the best of luck. And we've also gotten a few. We still have a lot of 19s players, and we've gotten a few more in, and we're just working on building with them and building that team a little bit further. Obviously, the plan is for them to be a feeder team for us, so we want the best players in that we can get in. And unfortunately, they can't come back training just yet, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks we can get them back in training with us and just improve their game as much as we can.
You talked a little bit about how you've really become kind of a team who are hard to beat in terms of defensively, but now it's about getting the goals. Is there anybody in the team do you think maybe might surprise us this season, a player to look out for who might be kind of on the goal hunt?
Don't be telling all the secrets. Don't be telling her all the secrets.
Yeah, definitely. We've had a couple of new signings this year, and a couple of players who have improved a lot from last year. We've a new girl in Erica Burke, she's the GA player, and she came in and she's banging the goals in training, so if she can continue to do that in games, we'll be doing well. Obviously, Eve Robinson is there up front, and Niamh has also came in and she's looking to play up front too, and all of them have goals in them, you know. I just think we need to work on getting the ball up to them a lot quicker, you know, as a team, and hopefully then they can do their job and put the ball in the back of the net, please God.
In terms of, I suppose, the situation Bohs find themselves in, obviously bottom of the league last year, but you're also very close to Shells in terms of a base there at Indrum-Condra and Cribsborough, Peamount not a million miles down the road, DLR Waves in the other corner of the city. How hard is it to attract players when you're not maybe getting the same league position? And what's different about Bohs that will attract players in there that can strengthen?
I think last year it was difficult. It was very difficult to get the players in last year because people didn't know. Obviously, we were introduced to the league at a very late stage. People didn't know what to expect. It was kind of all over the place at the beginning of the year, you know. But I think the fact that we weren't bashed last year, we weren't hammered in games 7 or 8 now, showed people that we can improve as a team and that they could maybe make the move over and improve the team even better than what we did last year. Obviously, a lot of the young players want to be at the bigger clubs, you know, but this will be a bigger club in years to come, and the girls just need to believe in that and give it a chance and progress with the team, and that way that they be involved in a big team in years to come, rather than maybe a lot of girls I think are afraid to leave the bigger clubs when they're not even playing, whereas I think it'd be better for them to get the game time, you know, and to improve as a player, and then they can be one of the bigger players at a big club in years to come.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you there. I think there are too many players. We had it last season with Peamount, the cup, for the players who didn't play a lot. And from my own point of view, like obviously I'm coming more towards the end of my career, when I look at players and see them sitting on the bench, obviously it's great to be involved with a big club, but as you mentioned, there's good people involved in Bohs. You've got a good manager in Sean Byrne. They're trying to build the right way. So I think it's important for young players particularly to go and play and be involved in the league rather than sitting on the bench. So I think that's something that can help you attract players, to get young hungry players in who maybe aren't getting the game time they want. And as I mentioned, you just have to set up, you have the management that are there to kind of, for them to learn and to teach them. So hopefully they'll be able to get that when they do come to us.
Exactly. Like I have to say, we have an amazing management and coaching staff. We've like 6 or 7 lads in at the moment. We've the best of everything. And I just think that the younger girls need to have that hunger in them. They have to stop being happy to sit at a bench at a big club and want to play. The only way you're going to progress in your own game is by getting game time. I just wish more girls would take a chance, because just come to a training session, you know, come to 2 or 3 training sessions and you'll see for yourself, you know, everything that we have here. It's just as good as the bigger clubs, and just to give it a chance, you know. And exactly as Steph said, the game time should be enough to draw players in.
Yeah, I suppose you talked at the outset about the opportunity maybe of playing a few more games at Dalymount. You played one game there last year, I think it was against DLR Waves. How nice would it be to be kind of playing competitively, winning games in Dalymount for a couple of times this season? What's the prognosis on that? Will you get a chance to play in the home of Irish football later this year?
Yes, definitely. That's the plan. I think there's been talks that we can hopefully get as many games as possible in Dalymount this year, but obviously that's weather dependent, and with the lads playing on the pitch, unfortunately, we'll have to just wait and see. But the plan is to get as many games as possible in Dalymount. And I think that's something that we're really working towards in the future, is to get all our home games in Dalymount. And that'll be an amazing achievement. And I'll just show how much the women's game has really come on over the last few years. So
you kick off this season with the visit of Treaty United this weekend. What's your thoughts going into that, in terms of expectation again of that particular clash? Treaty, they've changed their manager. They've had a couple of retirements. Mary Curtin has left and a few girls have come in. Looking to get off with a win, maybe set the tone for the rest of the season?
Of course, yeah, that'd be great. It'd be great to set the season off with a win. Look, we're just going to treat every game as they come. Treaty are a tough game to play against. Obviously, we've played against them a couple of times last year. They're hard to break down. But look, I believe in the squad that we have. I believe in the players that we have. I believe that Sean will put the best team that he can possibly put out on the day, and hopefully that we can get results. Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, we'll, as we do with everybody on the show, we wish you the best luck for the season ahead, and hopefully it's a good year for Bohemians women's side as well. And Niamh, thanks for joining us, and the very best of luck this weekend and for the season.
Thank you very much, and thanks very much for having me. Thanks,
That's enough, Niamh. See you later.